coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's see, we got Karen's books in here. She was first. We got Jeanette, and then we got Tim. Good morning, good morning. I hope you're all doing well. I got my coffee. I even brought my my decanter of coffee. So, no breaks today. I wasn't even sure if I was going to go live this morning because, we do the Veteran Nation every other Sunday, and I've got one pre-taped, but I wasn't sure if we were going to use that one or if we were going to do it live, because TC, there were things that he wanted to do live, and I'm willing to do both. But I asked him, I was like, hey, what are we doing? And I didn't get an answer, so if I don't get an answer, I'll just do the taped one, which won't be bad. It's a really good episode. It's I brought an author on, and I spoke with her. It was a good discussion, though. Oh, good morning, Georgie. Are you guys back home, or are you still traveling? Good morning, Mandy, Magic Angel. So there is a friend of the show. She's watched quite a bit, and she you might know her as Sunset Dark Angel. Has posted in the chat before, also some other things. She was letting me know yesterday she had to put her dog down. Her dog Pongo, and she sent me this picture here. That's Pongo. So very quickly it was clear he was sick, and then started going very downhill very fast. So she asked if anyone could, she's feeling down, asked if anyone could send her uh, any type of condolences or anything, she would appreciate it. So here, I'm going to put, let's see. So I'm going to put this because she asked for it. I normally don't hand out people's information, but she did ask to talk to people on the show. So that's her email. Uh, so her dog has passed, and I've been through that, and it sucks. It really does suck. So if you can, send her any type of condolences or anything, uh, I know she would appreciate it. It's 2 p.m. in the UK. How warm is it there, Mandy? Okay, you guys are leaving just now. I remember you said you were packing up to go. Yeah, it's sad. The dog's name was Pungo with a P. Um, your Milo had to be put to sleep 2 months ago. Animals are little tragedies. Um, I still, I'm still not over um, any of the dogs I've had to put down. You know, that's it's a tough thing. Um, you definitely love them as you do people, and in many ways, they're more worthy of our love because they definitely give it back to us without anything. No, no, she needs to be blown back up, but I've just been working on other stuff. As you guys have seen, you've seen the recent content I've been putting out. A lot of that is stuff that I worked on for a little bit, like the Whataburger thing. I was working on that video. Just I had it in my thing and would do some stuff and then leave and then come back and do some stuff to it. We're sitting on your dashboard. See, that means your husband has to listen to me run my suck while you guys drive. And Alabama and Georgia, I would imagine, are some boring states. Well, you'd be going through Georgia, not Alabama. Well, maybe Alabama. Seem like boring states to drive through most of it. Um, Maybe less so Georgia because there are some mountains. But yeah, so now you got to listen to me. That sucks. Your male goat, Carl. I, goats. I haven't had a lot of interaction with goats, but I've watched some things, and they seem like really cool animals. Uh, I got people who always want me to get animals, and I fall in love with animals, and but I also like to travel, and I would need someone to watch the animals if I did that. So that's why, like I normally have someone come in and check on my cat, and just I'm like, look, every 2 3 days, just come in, check on him. He'll be fine. Um, and people jump in and check and see how he is. Uh, but he's normally okay. He pouts though, and he gets mad at me if I leave. Uh, Glory, she normally goes with me. However, when I went overseas and when I go overseas in the future, she either has to go with my family or she's got to go to her trainer because her trainer's in LA. I like it when she can go to her trainer because she loves her trainer, especially uh, her trainer's husband Morris. She loves him to death and sits. He's got a recliner and she sits up with him, and it's funny because as soon as I take her to her trainers, like as soon as Morris sits down, she's like, jumps right up and is like, okay, this is my spot. Doesn't matter how long it's been. The other dogs want to play, and she's like, no, I'm going to sit up here with Morris for a bit. Talking to your cat through the Ring doorbell. I do that. I've got a automatic feeder. I can talk to Kang, and like I'll talk to him, and he won't look at it at all. He'll just ignore it. But if I give him the food and then he starts eating, I talk to him. He kind of like looks up and he's like, "Hey, stop talking to me. I'm trying to eat." Oh, he's getting into the. You can probably see the closet door opening. He's getting into there. What are you doing? Kang, you getting in trouble? I bottle fed him. He slept with me until he got too big to be inside. I saw a woman's thing where her horse was like, the door was open, the horse had his head in. She's like, I'm gonna see if this horse comes in. And the horse took his time but came into the house. I was like, oh my God. Hey Coop. Um, how about this video with Jeremy last night that he's suing his neighbors? Um, this has been a long time coming. I actually, way before all the stuff started with Lynette. Hey, hold on. What are you doing? Okay. I know. I know you're up to no good. That cat, he's doing something. Where's the kitty? Where's the kitty? Oh, is Kitty being bad? Oh, is he in there? Did he get locked in? What are you doing? Get out of there. Goof. He got himself locked in the bathroom. Yeah, she's. I'll blow her up. Yeah, this was a long time coming with Jeremy and the neighbors. So I was expecting him to sue Brian and Tina after the water situation. Uh, I'm still shocked the water situation came to a lawsuit because normally you have town attorneys who are trying to protect the town who will tell you okay, I don't have to respond to that right away. Yeah, normally you have town attorneys who will protect the town from a lawsuit. You know, that's should be their goals to avoid a lawsuit, but that's not what Attorney Worm was doing. It was like he was trying to get them into a lawsuit. I'm look, yeah, he has 7 years. Um, the but yeah, that the town almost seemed like it wanted a lawsuit. You know, with Russ saying sue us, with the way the attorney was just allowing them to operate. Where I can tell you there were several laws that were not in compliance with Florida law. And I know this because I've done government work here in California, and a lot of California's sunshine laws were written after and based off of Florida's sunshine laws. So when there's going to be something like a rate change to water, you have to do a couple things that Otter Creek didn't do. First off, you have to announce it. Then you have to hold two public hearings on it. And also, this is what Disney violated as well. You got to hold one public hearing, and then you got to hold another public hearing, and they both have to be like announced way ahead of time, and you have to take public comments. And then after you do those two, you take the public comments. If there's any changes, you make those changes, and then you have to rehear public comments on those changes. Well, Otter Creek didn't do that. Otter Creek held one public comment, if I remember correctly, and then signed the bill. What Disney did was they held two public comments, but then made the changes and then just signed them. You can't do that. Like the the public has to be able to comment on the bill as it is. So when you're talking about putting these laws into place, they can take months because you know scheduling all these public hearings, it can be a bear. And Otter Creek didn't do that with its rate increase. And because I guarantee you, had they done it, Jeremy would have been there. But instead, they did one hearing and then just signed it. And there were a lot of problems with the bill, and that is why for the sunshine laws, that's why they wrote in a lot of these things where you have to give the public a chance to comment, and because normally that's the public's way to read the bill. And you generally give out the proposal at the public comment meetings, and people can then say, "Oh, wait, this says this. But you tell me what this means." Um, he didn't sue over water; it was denial of public records. No, he also did sue over the water. He was suing over all the fines, Terry. Because they were charging him for things that were uh, the rates, and then he was refusing to pay uh, the the fines that they were putting onto him because they kept saying, "Well, we didn't receive it in time," when they did receive it in time. Um, and yeah, they also had him at a different rate. Now he's at the rate that everyone else is at, and they repealed that law that changed the rates. The Otter Creek, what do you call it? Not a law, but municipal code. So, and he can still bring that lawsuit because they said, we'll do this if you drop it. And he did not sign a settlement agreement. So if Russ gets back into office and they try to do anything funny with the rates again, he can bring that lawsuit back. Yeah, Terry. Yeah, Terry. That he's talked about it. Um, yeah, past due payments were the bulk of it because remember he and Mary he was like, hold on now, you're saying this is late, but yet I got the bill sent to me late, so you can't charge me a late payment. That was that whole video. He was like, when did these go to the? Well, they denied him public records. That was part of the lawsuit. Yeah, that was part of the lawsuit. But the lawsuit ultimately was about them charging him money, the damages. Uh, yeah, they weren't charging him residential. Uh, they kept setting his water bill late, yet every month, causing past due charges. So he was refusing to pay those charges. Yeah, and that's why he kept. Uh, no, no, they paid him 5,000 for the public records portion of it. He can still bring his lawsuit on the city. He absolutely can. And that's he's already talked about this. He said he would bring if Russ gets back into office, he would bring his lawsuit back because there were still outstanding legal issues that had not been adjudicated. And see, normally if you settle the whole thing, you actually sign a settlement agreement, which then releases any what I would say, it releases any ability to sue again. No, no, he's already talked about he has the ability to bring the lawsuit back, Terry. He's already talked about that. And I believe the 5,000 was only the money that he paid. If I remember, they just reimbursed him the money that he paid for all the documents. Yeah. Uh, Make me laugh. The bills go to the post office only to arrive. Right? Well, that's the way the post office runs. So there's no individual sorting at that post office. I don't believe they go to Chiefland or Bronson, wherever there's a bigger hub, and everything gets sorted and then divvied back. So yeah, if you try to send a letter to your neighbor, depending on how big your post office is, it'll get it gets sorted at the big post office. So when you guys you see the address down below, uh, that the PO box, which by the way, I do have fan mail and I'm gonna open. We were supposed to. I was gonna open it on Friday, but we just didn't do a Friday thing. Um, yeah, I was gonna open it last Friday, but I wasn't on with everybody because I had the little man. So my post office is actually on the base. That's where my PO box is because I'm on the base all the time, and it's kind of like my route that I take to get off base. So if that's why I went there because the main post office here in town is a little bit out of my way. So when I go to my PO box and check my stuff, it just only adds like 5 minutes onto my commute. But they only do sorting for the base there. For outgoing and ingoing mail, they don't do any sorting. It comes to my main hub where they do all that sorting. So if I tried to send a letter to my neighbor through there, it's going to go to the main post office, get sorted, and then put out for delivery. So there's the mini hub, then the main hub. So it's got to go from the mini to the main, and then divvied out to the main. And that's called hub and spoke logistics. Um, and that's for me as a logistician for many years. Think of it as a big wagon wheel, and you have your hub, and it goes out to all these mini spokes, and that's done on both a micro and a macro level, and that's how Amazon, the post office, FedEx, UPS, DHL, how all these places do logistics. I haven't, Mandy. I have not done international. I did that one was domestic. I still have international people written down, and I will do a special episode on international people. I just get more Americans, and I haven't done in a while, so I wanted to get into, wanted to break into that just a little bit. But I will be doing more of those. Uh, those get like so many views. Like whenever I do those, they get a lot of views. And they because a lot of people put their where they're from into the comments, and that whenever you engage, like if thumbs up, thumbs down, that's engagement. Leaving a comment or a question, that's uh, what do I say? That's engagement. Uh, so yeah, like already that has 300 views with 30 comments, and I haven't even responded to anyone's comments. And I normally try to get back to everyone's comments, so that's going to end up with probably close to 100 comments. And what that tells YouTube is, hey, this is a popular video. Push it out to more people. So when I do those videos, they're very, very popular. I get a lot of views off them. And that's what you've seen a lot out of me this week was I had a lot of, they call that evergreen content because it takes a long time, but it just grows and grows and grows. So I've got a couple videos like that when I go into my analytics and I'm looking at these videos, like a couple of them, every day I'll get one or two views. So that ends up as, you know, 30 to 60 views a month. And see, I'm monetized. So if I have, several videos like that, let's say I've got, 10 videos like that. That's 600 views, 3 to 600 views over the course of that month on top of my daily content. So it just bumps up how much money you make from YouTube. And the more videos you have out there doing that, like the visiting the celebrity graves video, I need to go in there and edit it and put Frank Sinatra because I know a lot of people are gonna watch that for Frank Sinatra. Uh, but with that video, yeah, like that'll be uh, something that people, and I'm gonna break those into shorts too. Uh, so I'll get even more views out of them, and that's my mentality with doing stuff like that. Oh, I would have kept the water well with a really good filter system to remove the sulfur. Florida has great natural water. Um, Otter Creek is a swamp. You got to be careful with swamp water. It can be good water. It can. Don't get me wrong. But swamp water can, especially if it becomes brackish, can be it can be a problem. Now, here's how I know this. I worked for Dunkin' Donuts. Well, I worked for a company that did a Dunkin' Donuts project and outfitted all of their things, their stores with their new espresso machine. So if you walk into a Dunkin' Donuts, there's a very good chance that espresso machine was shipped because I was the main logistics guy, US, and I was working with the people in Switzerland and Germany uh, who created those. And so they would flow in uh, into the United States and then get distributed. And I was the one then directing, okay, take it from New Jersey and put it and send it here, take it from, and I was directing. So every day I would get my list of here's how many machines have cleared customs. And then I would go down, okay, these are my next 48 hours of installs. And I actually did it. We had this thing where we had a map, and I would look at the regions that we were in, and I would say, okay, I want this one on this day. So I was like 2, 3 days ahead of our installers, and we told everyone when these arrive, an installer is going to be to your store within the next 48 hours to install it. So we got into this really good rhythm where it was like machine, person, and that it was a lot of us military guys on that project. So I know a lot about um, water because another logistics problem that we had with these was the water specifically in Delaware and Maryland. Uh, a lot of these places had well water that was filtered. The water was not, it was treated to where you could drink it, but it would make the coffee taste weird. So we actually had 3M, and if you see on a coffee thing, you'll see this inline filter about 8 to 10 inches long. Just looks like a white stick with 3M on the side. They developed that filter for our project because we recognized way ahead of time, hey, we have this, and they're like, okay, we'll come up with a filter as the water comes in. You can drink it, but it will have a taste, and it's not sulfur. It's more of like a because the water still can be a little bit brackish, and um, so yeah, it'll have a little bit funny of a taste to it. It's I don't even think it's a bad taste as I've drank it. It's just a little bit different, and for me, I don't like water that doesn't really have a taste to it. Nothing wrong with the water in Maryland. Oh yeah, you can drink it. You can absolutely drink it. It'll just have a little bit of taste, so it'll make your coffee, anything that you're mixing with it, it'll make it a little bit different. Oh, you got spring water. Spring water is very good for you. Very good for you. Uh, did you? I've seen where people have harvested their own spring water. Did you have to do that? Hint of limestone. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Uh, yeah. You want to make sure, like Here in California, everybody talks about Chromium 6, which is comes from the what was that movie with uh, the the woman who sued the class action suit over the water. What was that movie? It was up north. Um, I believe it was Hollister, California. Uh, Damn it, the girl from Julia Roberts was in it. Um, but yeah, where she wouldn't, like, all these people were getting sick from the water. Everyone makes a big deal about Chromium 6 because of that instance, right? The problem is that was only there because a company was literally dumping it into the local uh, water stream. So, like here locally where I am, we have to test. Yeah, we have to test for Chromium 6. But I'm in a rural area. We don't have any industry here. The base is our closest industry. So, and we don't have any open bodies of water. Aaron Brockovich. Yep. Yep, that was the movie. Um so yeah, we have to test for that now. But the chances of ever there being chromium 6 like are they're completely nil. Now, we are looking for other things in our water like color to make sure that that isn't in our water because see where I am, we have we have a natural aquifer underneath us. This used to be a lake where I am. That's why like some people in some of the surrounding counties or surrounding areas, they find fossils because like dinosaur fossils because this used to be a lake. Actually, also used to be an ocean, so you will find seashell fossils. But yeah, you'll find fossils, aquatic fossils here, and then on the outskirts you'll find dinosaur fossils because this was a drinking hole for them. Um, but the aquifer is now underground, and we have two fault lines here, and they go right into those fault lines. So yeah, we and like I'm not far on the other side of Joshua Tree is the San Andreas fault line. Like I literally used to live on it. And people would like I told my parents, I'm like, yeah, we're right on top of the San Andreas fault line. They're like, do we have to worry about things breaking away or getting sucked in? And I'm like, that's not how fault lines work at all. I go, but in the place where I was living at that time had these beautiful hot springs that literally that's where the pools would come from. They would have to actually cool the water down before it would go into the hot tubs because it was on the outskirts of the town, Desert Hot Springs, and that's why Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs. You know, it's right on the fault line. So that's what you get because water seeps into the fault line, and there is like that's where the volcanic um, uh, material comes up higher. In fact, if you go to the Salton Sea, there's the salt flats out there. That's an active volcano. That's an active volcanoes. The salt flats, uh, right outside of the Salton Sea. Um, but that's why it warms the water because the volcanic stuff isn't coming up, but it's closer to the surface. So the water that's there heats up, and then the water comes out, and that's how you get Hot Springs, Arkansas. So that's how you get those. Um, they just get the water gets into the fault line. There's already you know a lava flow underneath it somewhere else in the fault line, but it's warmer. And normally, other places you got to dig further and further down before you get to any type of magma or anything like that. So it's incredibly interesting uh, how that stuff how it goes. You're near Silver Spring, yeah, yeah. See, there you go. See, uh, yeah, you get the mountain springs, but the closer you get to Baltimore, they still have water. because they have a very high water table, but it does become a little bit more brackish because you have the Chesapeake and the seawater and whatnot. We have to deal with brackish water out here because there's so many salt minerals and salt deposits. As you can tell, I get interested by these things, so I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I want to check these things out, and like, I'll go down the rabbit hole. Yesterday, I was reading or watching and reading a thing about the old copper mines in Butte, Montana, that is now essentially a toxic acidic lake, and their big concern is, and they're still able to treat the water to be drinkable, uh, but their big concern with the lake, because it's so toxic, because a lot of sulfuric acid has gotten into the lake, is the birds. So they have like shotgun things around that like will go off intermittently to scare the birds away. Because if the birds land on the water and stay on it, they'll eventually die because the water is toxic. Now, I was sitting there wondering, huh, I wonder if you could add salt to that. What type of reaction would you get? If it's sulfuric acid, you'd get you'd if you started adding salt, you would get hydrochloric acid. But I was wondering how, if you added a lot of salt, would that neutralize the sulfuric acid and turn it more, you know, it wouldn't be drinking water, but you could lower the p or heighten the pH of it by adding salt as a basic solution to it. It would take a lot of salt, a lot of salt. This is a mile wide lake, but when you look at a lot of these lakes in the West, they're acidic lakes, and that's why I keep saying, we're gonna eventually. Water is our most in demand and limited natural resource, but we actually have a lot of water here. I think we're going to start looking at ways of doing solar desalination. Why California hasn't led the world with it, I have no clue. Because California has, what is it, the third biggest coastline in the United States, and there's no desalination at all, and it's got major water problems. It's like, try to figure out a solar desalination plant. You bring the water in, you do things to heat the water, and then as the it evaporates, you just have a piping system to where it evaporates into a new tank, and the salt stays behind. Why they haven't brine water or salt water? Yeah, yeah. Why you haven't done that here in California? I don't know. They just keep taking from their current resources. Like, if you want to see how not to manage water, look at California. California is so stupid with San Diego takes water from the Colorado River. San Diego is nowhere near the Colorado River. Like, it's a 3-hour drive from San Diego to the Colorado River. Why are you taking water from the Colorado? You have a beautiful coastline. All you have to do, you don't have to put these things on the coast. You just pump it in. You you just pump in the water from the ocean. Um, you could do solar desalination, because right now desalination, it takes a lot of energy. It does, but you can solar desalinate water. It's a distillation process, and why they haven't done that, I don't have a clue. And I'm not saying that's the be all end all solution. You start making some of those to offset some of your water needs. Same thing, they want to make more of these solar farms. Again, I would do for California, the most reliable renewable power is hydroelectric. When the water's flowing, you can take that's kinetic energy, you can then turn into stored energy. Um, when out here where I live, yeah, you can do solar farms because we don't get a lot of clouds. Up in Minnesota, like, you're not going to get solar doesn't make sense in Minnesota because, uh, you know, yeah, one time of the year you get a ton of light. Uh, Other parts of the year you have a shorter day, so you don't get a ton of light. So it doesn't make sense there, closer to the equator, like here. Yeah, you can do that. You can use solar. Um, you'll still have the clouds that will determine how much energy you're creating. Out here, I don't get a lot. So, here solar makes sense. But uh, they pushed wind and solar so much along California that, they're not thinking outside the box. Why are they not doing tidal power? The way they do tidal power, it's a thing. It looks like a UFO because it's like this disc, and the top is a turbine that spins one way, and the bottom is a turbine that spins the other way. And it's way out. You put it way out off the coastline, and when the tide comes in, one turbine spins, and when the tide goes out, the other turbine spins. So you're always creating energy, always. But yet, what does California do? They buy coal energy from Oregon, uh, Arizona, and Nevada. So they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, look how green we are. They're really not. They're just paying to other states. They're outsourcing their carbon footprint, is all they're doing. So it really doesn't make anything cleaner. Oh, an orange grove? Yeah, I need to get me a citrus plant. I've got, I'm waiting to harvest. I've got a lemon ready to harvest. My first lemon. I've only got one, but the lemon tree is starting to get some new blooms, and it looks like I'll have several lemons next year. And it's a Meyer lemon tree, so that as soon as I can harvest my lemon is going to go outside this spring. And I have a lime tree that will be moved from the pot that it's in into the pot where the lemon tree is. And I'm gonna have limes this year. I'm already seeing where the limes are. Uh, so when I put in the lemon tree, I would love to have a citrus because I've got I've got to set it all up, but I've got a good irrigation system now. But yeah, that whole thing with Tina and Brian, like, yeah, he's got some time, but I was expecting that to be the next lawsuit, and then we had the whole crazies jump in, and I know why, because I know he was going to sit on that for even longer, but that lawsuit got bumped up, and it's because Tina and Brian are contacting and working with the leeches. They're giving their videos, which that video that's up, that is, I was looking at Jeremy's video. You know what? I'll pull it up just so I can show you guys. Uh, you guys don't want to watch the ads. Okay. So I'm going to share this. Jeremy's normally okay with me sharing. Okay. Yeah. He just. Okay. So he was talking about this being illegal because it's on that pole. And that's 100% correct. That's not what that pole is for. It looks like they could have easily just put their own pole in the ground. But my question is, does this turn? Because uh, my cameras like this do turn, and like right now, they're kind of overlooking Brian and Tina's property. But if these were to turn and be aimed just over here at Jeremy's property, that's when those become illegal. And I saw where the leeches were talking about Tubetown, and she was talking about the cameras at Tubetown being pointed over at uh, John Lynette's property. So this one, it's pointed, like right now, it's pointed at Brian and Tina's property, but it sees over that back into Jeremy's property again. So that makes that not illegal for the way it's pointed. Where it's positioned, illegal. You can't put it on a pole that you don't own, and they do not own the electrical pole. Sorry. Uh, so yeah, the way it's facing right now, not illegal. Just like how the same ones over at Tubetown, they're pointed at Tubetown properties. Like they're focused primarily on the entrance to Tubetown and the was it the mailbox. Perfectly legal for them to do. Perfectly legal. The fact that John Lynette's property gets in the shot, that is inconsequential. Because the purpose of it, and we've seen the videos, the purpose of it is, seeing who's coming to Tubetown and signing the book. John Lynette, as they have with building their privacy fence, it is up to them to build their own privacy. He's also talking about how Lynette said cameras are not allowed to be that high. Yeah, complete and total BS. We've heard that from the leeches. They're just sea lawyers. That's what we call them in the military. Sea lawyers. People who will tell you, oh, they can't do that, or this is what the law says, who have no clue. No clue. And you saw that with the cop, because he was asking her, well, what statute are you talking about? Because I'm not familiar with that one. And that deputy did a great job. Did a very great job. In fact, let me do this, because let's listen to some of this. I have to also unmute it up here.
To make it eavesdropping and voyeurism, and there's another word. His cameras are 15 foot up so that they can see our entire property.
Okay. Well, I'm not familiar with any of those laws either, because I also know that having a drone and flying it over private property is a civil matter. It's not even a criminal matter anymore.
So right there, the cop was willing to listen to them and, willing to take their stuff, but he's like, look, that's not this purpose. It's not eavesdropping. Yeah, accidental inclusion. Yes, Mandy. That's exactly. It's incidental. It's all. That's not what we were trying to get, but we got this other stuff. So, but yeah, this cop does a very good job. And the other thing that he gets to that I actually do want to talk about is this right here.
It's not a drone. It's a camera.
Well, I'm saying if we're talking about the height difference and how a camera can't be above 10 feet, for instance, but a drone can fly much higher than that, and that's just a civil infraction. That's not even criminal. You know what I mean? If you have statutes, I'm happy to look at them. I'm just not familiar with any ones you're referencing.
Can you get me all the statutes that we found about privacy in backyards once you have the privacy fence? And
so first off, if you're going to have any interaction like this with a deputy, you should have those ready before they even come out. Be like, look, it is a violation of this statute right here. Here it is. I'm going to read it to you. And then you have to go through and see, does it meet all of the elements of that law? Yeah, absolutely. You have to make your own privacy. Jeremy even told Brian on camera. Well, okay, so the leeches have been out there saying that a survey was already done. If a survey was done and the memorial is not on Jeremy's property, show it. Show it. Because that would be easy. That would be easy.
of the cameras, how high they can be and how high they can't be. I'll have to get them back to you. We'll print them out, and I guess we'll just bring them all in.
Oh, like up to the office?
Yeah, I've got a whole legal team now, and they've been searching every law, every...
Well, Jeff Grady, I do want at least Duke Energy in Central Florida doesn't balk at people using their poles for cameras occasionally. Just because one guy allows it doesn't make it legal. That's not the purpose of those poles. And at any point, if the energy company says, "Hey, no, take those down," they're well within their rights.
Criminal code, everything that there is,
Right.
because this has got to stop. What more can we do?
Well, let me see, really quick.
Well, I mean, what more? Technically, what more can we do to stop this shit?
Give me one more.
We're not moving. I'm not giving up what I came here to do with my daughter, because this man is obsessed.
So this is the only statute that I'm aware of. Okay, and I can show it to you right here. 810.145, digital voyeurism. Okay, and down here it defines what reasonable expectation of privacy is according to Florida statutes, and it defines, circumstances in which a reasonable person would believe that he or she could fully disrobe in privacy without being concerned that the person's undressing was being viewed, recorded, or broadcast by another, including but not limited to interiors of buildings, bathrooms, changing room, fitting room, dressing room.
So he's literally reading it to her, and she is not paying attention. Not paying attention. She already has it in her head that no, it's illegal, and she's not paying attention. And do you notice the ladder on the very far left? That's why I made this big screen, is so I could point that out. That's the ladder that the one drug addict was up on, Mr. Campbell, that John then flipped off Jeremy. So interesting that that's still up.
That's just like, that's an indoor thing. There's an outdoor. Hold on. Hey Siri, is there a Florida code or statute to protect me in my back?
Okay, I've told this to several people. Don't trust Siri. Don't trust Google. Like, just because a Google result says it, guess what that is? That's AI taking things from other pages and summarizing them. Go to the actual statutes. If you're gonna call the cops over something, go to the actual statute. Be like, I've read this statute. Here it is. And trust me, some, like California, puts each statute on its own page. It's incredibly difficult and frustrating. I've had to look up laws here, and it's like, okay, now I got to go to this one. Now I normally write it all out. There are some legal sources out there that will put them all into one, which is great for those that do, but don't trust a Google result search, especially when it's at the top, because that's just summarizing what other people are saying, and it's leaving a lot of nuance and information out. And many times when you actually start getting into those resources, you find that, what it's saying is, yeah, you can do this, is actually no.
Backyard from being videoed.
Where does your property line end?
We start down there where the fence starts.
Well, I mean on the back here.
In the back, goes way back. There's a marker back there.
Okay, this is a big, big, big point that this deputy is making. Okay, so he asked her where her fence goes, and so they're talking about it.
And there's a marker back here in the corner.
This property back here, does that belong to anybody? Is that yours or somebody else's?
Hudson's own part of it.
Because this looks like a camper or something back there. That's why I'm asking. And then there's another residence over on this side.
The Hudson's have their house is right there. And our property line goes. There's a stake back there.
I don't know if you necessarily have an argument for reasonable expectation of privacy with the way that things are set up here.
He's filming from there, not there.
Well, what I'm saying is you have a privacy fence, but it's not about who is filming. It's about that anybody can film.
This is how to get in shape fast.
So, yeah, this is a big point. So he's talking about you have no expectation of privacy. Why? Because the privacy fence does not encircle your whole property. You've only done one side.
Well, what I'm saying is you have a privacy fence, but it's not about who is filming. It's about that anybody can film. So even though You have a privacy fence there.
The guy is filming from the street over our fence. That's why we built the fence there.
Well, what I'm saying is...
No one has filmed us from back here.
Sure, but what I'm saying is
private property. He can't get on it.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that anybody can film back here toward your property because you don't have any kind of barriers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy in your yard because it's an outdoor space, and you don't even, and I'm not saying that this would change anything even if you had a fence.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't, thank you.
She's not listening, but this is a very important legal point as it applies to curtilage. I'll let this play a little bit longer.
Okay.
No, it's the same deal. Go ahead, thank you.
Okay. Alrighty, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, so she didn't listen. But you have to understand how the Fourth Amendment works. It protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. Now, if you're saying that someone is invading your privacy, that's essentially a search, okay? But you have to create a reasonable expectation of privacy. I did want to answer a couple questions. I was asked how far I am. I'm about 2 hours from Escondido. 2 hours driving time. Only like, I want to say 90 miles. But I got to go around the mountains. No, I don't know if there's a camera where that ladder is. I just wanted to point out the ladder is still there. That was the ladder that Mr. Campbell was up on, and where John flipped off Jeremy. So where that ladder is, I don't know if there's a camera there or not. So the deputy is making a legal point here. You only have essentially one frontage of your property with a privacy fence. There's nothing stopping anyone from coming around. So they haven't protected what's known as the curtilage of their property. So let's say there's a report of rug use on the property, okay? And that gets told to the sheriffs. They can drive up, park, and walk around the privacy fence and come onto the property. No problem whatsoever. They are not in violation of the Fourth Amendment. Why is that? Because they don't have a fence. So they're not protecting the curtilage of their property. Now, if you remember back when the Trespass 5, those videos where they were all on the property getting Lloyd's stuff, the deputy was very protective and said, don't go within these areas. That's the curtilage of her trailer. So these deputies are very aware of curtilage. And curtilage, like, that is the area where, like, public, it's a reasonable expectation of the public can come there. Like, if someone comes and knocks on your front door, someone could easily walk onto my property right now and knock on my front door. I do not have a fence that encircles my property. I've got a partial fence that has fallen down in areas. I have to replace it. It's one of those things that I eventually will replace. It's just not a priority right now. But if let's say someone wanted to swat me and they're like, oh, we're going to send the cops. They can come all the way up to the front door of my house, perfectly legal, and knock on my door. They can. Just think of it. Wherever the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormon missionaries, all those people are going to annoy you and knock on your door. Where they can go, the cops can go. Make sense? Now, if I do build my fence the way I intend it to, you won't be able to come up to my house, meaning I have now protected a bigger curtilage of my property. So they can't just go past my fence if you have it completely enclosed. And that's the legal point this deputy is trying to make, is that she has not protected all of her property. So she still, even though they have that fence, they still don't have an expectation of privacy. And this is why you don't take legal advice from morons. Yeah. Jeremy could go on the Hudson's property and film her all day long. He could ask the Hudsons, "Hey, could you put up a camera on your property?" Now Jeremy hasn't done that, but he could do that legally. There's no expectation of privacy at all except indoors. No, so okay, Jeff, you're a little bit off. If you put a privacy fence all the way around your property, um, like, and I dealt with this recently with a veteran in LA, where the city workers were putting their phones up over the fence. That is illegal. That is illegal because he has taken steps to create privacy. They can't subvert that. So they in that case they were just trying to find people who lived in a traditionally low income and a very traditionally Hispanic part of LA. And my buddy, her family has owned this house for easily 80 years. They live in a casita on the property. Um, they moved into there temporarily. They're now buying their own house. So if he's watching, hey, good luck on the house. I do need to reach out to you and talk to you about the house because he also asked me about the VA home loan. But yeah, the city workers held phones over his fence. That they're not allowed to do. Now the other thing that they did was they had a bucket truck and they were going around and they were trimming the trees and they were saying, "Oh, we were up in the bucket truck," and that's how now there the bucket truck is allowed to go up and trim the trees. And they said, okay, from that we could see that is not a illegal thing of their uh, expectation of privacy. Now, if they put overhangs, which they do have some overhangs over their house, um, so they could easily say, well, even from up there you can't see because we have this awning. Those awnings create privacy. In Florida, the laws are a little bit different than they are in California, but it's good to know these laws. Like, I'm in a vulnerable spot right now for the cops because there's several different areas where they can walk onto my property, even though I have no trespassing signs and other stuff. My curtilage literally goes to the door of my home. Now, yeah, can they come onto my property? Can they knock on my door? Yes. But my home is raised up. I purposefully looked for a home like this because I don't do snakes. And we get snakes out here all the time. So the fact that, my home is raised up about 30 inches is the likelihood of snakes getting into my home, whereas at my old home, we did have some snakes get in. Of course, Kang killed him because he's my little hunter. Uh, the chances of me dealing with snakes, not not huge, not huge at all. Um, but that's why that's a very important thing. So if they're standing on the ground and they can see into my windows, that is fine. I have curtains. I've got some of the things on my windows that reflect the sunlight out because it gets very hot out here. So that helps with the heating and AC of your house. So I have those things that are all designed to protect um, uh, my privacy. As you guys have seen, I've got drapes here. Now, if they grab something to step on to look into my home, that's where it becomes illegal. And that's you should hear my hubby retired Elio. He gets so annoyed. Finally, he just walks away, shaking his head. Over what, Palmer's? Yet, yeah, I don't know what they were trying to do with that ladder, but they left it up. Um, you shouldn't leave ladders up. I've worked in safety for years. You shouldn't leave ladders up. San Diego Wildlife Preserve. I've been there a couple times. If I go, it'll just be me. Um, my son is kind of over it. He's like, yeah, okay. And he loves animals, but we've been there so many times when he was younger. He's probably been there 5 or 6 times. I've been there at least 2, probably more. I've asked him if he wants to go to SeaWorld. He's like, yeah, no. He has no interest. He can't get on the. Oh yeah, yeah. He could absolutely get on. He could get. Well, he can't because she's given no trespass orders. It would. I don't think she's given them to him. And even if she did, they wouldn't be legally. Like you have to be on. Someone has to come on your property in most states. I'll have to look at Florida again. It's been a while. If someone comes on your property in Florida and then you trespass them, it becomes a legal notice, just like how the Trespass 5, they came on, she trespassed them, they can't come back on. Jeremy hasn't been on their property. So she can say, well, he's trespassed from my property. I don't know if that has legal weight. You normally have to come on, be trespassed, and then be given the opportunity to leave. The video where I was attacked, where's it at here? The video, where's that? It's on my service dog harassment list. Okay, I'll put this one up. I have this muted. But with this video, so this is almost a 2-hour long video. I do have it chaptered out, and everything happens in the last 5 minutes. This is me. I went to this doesn't have to be like that. There we go. We can do that. So I'd gone to a restaurant and I just went for lunch, and my intent was actually to get food to go. And as soon as I walked in, they immediately were messing with me over my service dog. And the guy told me to leave, and I said no. You have to serve me. And he said, well, I'll call the sheriff. And I said, good, call the sheriff. Now, he had trespassed me, and I was on the property. I actually had a duty to leave at that point, but I was not going to. And here was why. This is why, if you watch this video, and I talk about this in the video, I need proof that this incident occurred. So the fact that he called the sheriff is a good thing for me. The sheriff will show up and they'll tell me I need to leave the property. I'm technically trespassing, but I can't be arrested for it. They can issue me a trespass notice at that point. And that's what I wanted. I was going to stay to get a trespass notice. Once I have that trespass notice, which would be a physical thing, I now have proof of that whole interaction. And it was the reason why I did this was my intent to then go to the California Civil Rights Division, and then this restaurant would have been fined. They would have been fined probably at least $10,000 because they had harassed me over my service dog. And so I'm sitting there. I'm not causing a disturbance. I'm just talking to my camera. I'm not really, if you notice, I do turn the camera around, but I'm not really showing anyone. And I was doing that for a reason, because had I been showing someone, people tend to get physical. Now they get physical, but not because of my camera. I had the camera, as you can see, for the most part, trained on myself through most of the time. Anyone walking in was incidental. So no one could say I was breaking their privacy, even though you don't have privacy in public anyway. But they do attack me. Yeah, they do. This guy does attack me. he comes into the shot. I didn't turn the camera on him until he was talking to me. He threatens me, but I just wanted proof for my lawsuit. Well, actually, more my complaint. I said lawsuit because Nancy said lawsuit. I didn't do a lawsuit in this case because lawsuits are incredibly, incredibly expensive. And notice how she's filming me at that point, refusing to leave. And I was acknowledging, no, I am refusing to leave. When the sheriff comes here, they'll make me leave. And that's when I'll leave. And sure enough, when the sheriff came, they did make me leave. So here, this is where he starts to get violent with me. But if you watch all 2 hours of it, I'm very calm. You know, despite them screaming at me, you know, threatening me, all that stuff, I stay very calm during all this. And right here is the beginning of the assault. Yeah, he throws that at me. So that way, you know. So if people come onto your property, now this is not true in every state, but most states, they have to be physically on your property and told to leave before they can be trespassed. I can't find someone out in town and tell them, oh yeah, you're trespassed from my house. Now my ex had come to my property one day, uninvited, and I then later said, like, because by the time I showed up, she was gone, and I sent her a message, and I said, hey, you are officially trespassed from my property. And then when I moved, I had to reinitiate that trespass and tell her, hey, you can't come to my new property. Ooh, I want to talk about that later. Okay. But yeah, people think you can just trespass someone. Like if I see you out in town, I can't say in most states you're trespassed from my property. It doesn't work. You have to come onto my property before I can trespass you. Once you're on my property, I can trespass you. I don't understand why you were not allowed. So if you go and watch that video, and it's in my playlist, Service Dog Harassment. It's called Attacked Over a Service Dog in 29 Palms. As I'm recording, another patron of the restaurant comes up and says, hey, these people are really hostile to service dogs. My friend brought his service dog in here and they harassed him. So it was a matter, and I've come to this, there are people who they just don't know about service dogs. I've had people tell me it's against the law to bring your service dog into a restaurant. That is absolutely false. There are places where I cannot go. For instance, there are private institutions who can say, yeah, you can't bring your service dog. However, and I had my VFW try this with me. Because one guy didn't like that I brought my dog in. And he was like, yeah, we're allowed to ban service dogs. And I said, yes, you are. However, service dogs are a medical device. You allow other veterans in here with their oxygen machines, with their wheelchairs. Guess what, dude? Those are medical devices. So if you ban my service dog, those also have to be banned. Do you really want to play this game with me? I'll play it. Because the moment you let in other medical devices, now you're being discriminatory because you're allowing some medical devices and not others. So that's why it's important to know these laws. And like this was probably 2 months ago. I was challenged at a local business here about the dog, and they were like, "You can't have the dog in." And I said, "Look, I'm gonna go get something." And I went in my car, and I keep little business cards that talk about service dogs, and it's the basic rules. And I was like, I gave them several of them. I was like, I'm telling you, they're like, I was like, where are you hearing that I can't? And they were like, the county board of health has a rule against it. And I said, well, if you look right here, This says Federal Americans with Disabilities Act. Federal law will always trump state and local laws. So even though they may have a law, I'm still allowed because the federal law it's the supremacy clause. And I was very calm about it. And because I brought those cards, people were like, they were a little bit more understanding. And I was like, look, I'm not mad at you if people are telling you, but you need to take this and correct them and let them know that they're telling you things that are completely and totally false about service dogs. So you got to know these laws. Ignorance of the law is never an excuse. But yeah, I'll get people. That's the whole thing about the leeches with this case. They'll say things. Oh, you can't do that. That's illegal. Okay, well, what makes it illegal? They'll never quote the law. Bruce knows. And they have Bruce on their show. And that's why I say he's doing them all such a disservice. Because he could correct them. He's a lawyer. He never does. He lets them spew their bullshit right on their show. That would not be a disbarable action because he's not actually their attorney. So he could be like, yeah, I've got no legal obligation to correct them. And he doesn't. But you would think a good attorney would just be like, yeah, no, you can't do that, or you can't do this. But he doesn't do that. And I just don't get it. It doesn't make much sense to me what Bruce does. Here's the thing, Karen. Service dogs can be removed from places. And there are rules me and my service dog have to follow. And there have been times where Glory's broken them. Do you know when she's broken them, you know what I've done? I grab her and we get out of there because I don't want there to be a problem. Most people with service dogs are very in tune with the laws. And I hear the same false things over and over. Like, and I've had people even on here, people who know me have said, well, Glory is a registered service dog. There's no such thing as a registered service dog. Can you register? You can register any dog. Like here, there's dog licenses. It's not a requirement. I don't have to have my dog licensed. But do they have dog licenses? Yes, they do. But I don't have to. I don't have to register. Service dogs do not have to be registered. All they have to be is task-specific trained. Exactly, Terry. I'm going to put this up. Lawyers always say don't talk, keep everything confidential for their time in court. He has instigated a lot of this BS. Who are you talking? Are you talking about Brian? Yeah, lawyers. Every good lawyer will tell you, shut up, don't talk about a lot of this stuff. And they'll be good about that. They'll tell you, yeah, don't talk about these things. Don't talk about these things. A stupid lawyer is gonna send emails saying we're creating an anti-ecosystem. That's what a stupid lawyer does. Like, not just are we going to talk about this, we're going to coordinate our efforts. You can very quickly tell which dogs are service dogs and which dogs are not. I've got people who, they'll look at Glory and say something to her, and then she approaches them. And, they'll be like, oh, it's a service dog. I can't touch it. I'm like, look, you've already talked to her. You've already acknowledged her. So to not pet her at this point is kind of, it's kind of ridiculous. You're making the dog think, what did I do wrong? Which I only need Glory. I need her at work. That's really where I need her. That is, on base is where I have uh, all of my PTSD. It comes from being on 29 Palms. Uh, and I knew when I moved back up here and I was taking a job on base, that's when I actively went to get a service dog because I did not want to have any attacks. And the moment I got her, it was like someone hit a light switch. All my issues that I was having just kind of went away. I knew she had my back. Well, Dennis, it has nothing to do with aggressive. Service dogs are just well behaved. They go through temperament training. I had a friend of mine who he had a dog that failed temperament training. So it was not a service dog. The dog was task trained to do stuff, but couldn't pass temperament training. It was this big dumb lab that wanted to be everyone's friend. And it was a failure. And he said, "No, I still want a service dog, but I'll take him as a pet." So he ended up with two dogs, both well trained, but one he couldn't take out. That dog had to stay at home. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. Bruce definitely stepped over in Amanda Martin's depot. It was ridiculous. Um, this is you're talking about something here. You're talking about something here that has a lot of things. We talk about the haters. There are people out there who are hating on each other. Most of us most used to be friends and stuff, but yet they criticize me, Georgie, Coop, um, Daniel, a lot of us. You do realize, like, we get a lot of our stuff from Max Lab, and they attack Max Lab. They claim they don't, but they definitely do. They have whole live streams about Max Lab, and they complain about Max Lab. Here's the thing. I've never asked, well, actually, no, I shouldn't. I've only asked Max Lab for a couple of things. Most of the stuff he just sends me. He just sends it to me. Um, I don't ask for it. He just sent, hey, here's the new update for the court. Um, Same thing with a lot of these others. He just sends it to people. So these people being rude to him and attacking him is really stupid because look, he has helped this channel. Have he and I had issues in the past? Absolutely. But, and we've dealt with those. We dealt with them offline. Uh, all in all, though, he has helped this channel. He is a good dude. He like gets these things and gives them to people. Now the depot, there were people refusing to share the depot. I don't care. Like you don't want to work with me. That means I don't want to work with you. I don't care. Just don't come to me later for something else. And that's what some of these dummies have done. But these people who attack Max Lab, and a lot of it comes from one individual, and that's DJ Radis. DJ Radis hates Max Lab, hates him, and a lot of it is because of Max Lab's disability. Like, and I'm not saying anything crazy here. Like Max or DJ Radis will tell you that he hates Max Lab. And a lot of it is because there's some jealousy there too. There's some jealousy. Max Lab, because he's so willing to turn things over and to help, like the dude blew up my phone the other night about this stuff with Brian and Tina. And I'm not mad at him. I love him for it. But he really, truly wants to help Jeremy. And he will actually go to personal and financial lengths to try to help Jeremy. And what's funny is he doesn't want anything from Jeremy. A lot of people do want stuff from Jeremy. They want Jeremy to come on their channels. They want Jeremy to, give them a job. They want Jeremy to help them start a business. Jeremy came on this channel. He did not have to. Had he told me no, I would have respected it. I think he came on because I was like, look, I just want to talk business with you. And I think he's seen more, as he's seen enough of what I do here that he was like, okay, yeah, well, I will talk business with you, because he knew I wasn't gonna ambush him. I wasn't going to take him into. He actually was starting to get into this stuff with the cases and everything, and he was like, "Oh wait, I got to stop. We're not. We agreed not to talk about that," which I found very funny. If he ever wanted to talk, on that stuff, I happily have him on. He doesn't need me. He doesn't need this channel. He's done more than enough. He doesn't have to shout out this channel, but he has. Um, I'm so grateful. But MaxLab doesn't even have that. MaxLab doesn't have a channel, and these people are very antagonistic towards MaxLab. But I can tell you, MaxLab, when he gets something, he sends it to me. He sends it to Georgie and Coop. He sends it to Tug and Megan. Like I believe he sends it to Daniel. Like he wants everybody to be helped, and he wants everybody to help Jeremy. Now, I have not. If you guys have noticed, I've not been reading the motions for a couple of reasons. I have gotten them, and I thank MaxLab for them, and I've gone through them and I've talked about them. But I'm trying to also help smaller channels. Um, you know, Coop is a much bigger channel, but most of Coop's audience is there for paracord stuff. They're not there for Jeremy Hale's content. MaxLab is the exact opposite of all the haters in DJ Radis. Absolutely. He's not in it for anyone, or he's not in it for himself. He truly is in it to help Jeremy. But yeah, with a lot of these other people, you have to go to them to ask for something. Now, I've found Tug and Megan. If I ask them for something, they send it right to me, no questions asked. Some of these people will have stuff, and they kind of want you to kiss their ass. But those two, yeah, it's just they wouldn't think to hand it over. I also know MaxLab sends stuff to Shizzy Wisnut. I don't know if he sends things to the expert. I've never asked those two for anything. I would imagine that they would probably turn it over. But there are some people who will not turn things over, and some people are like, I found that. That was mine. Like, you don't own any of this information, even if you're not sharing it. And I know with the depot, there's ways I could get it, but I just know that there are people who are not sharing it, who had it. And yeah, DK Lucas, Panorama Computer, he's up to 290 subs. We're getting him there. That 500 is getting closer and closer. And he'll get there. Daniel will get there. It'll take time, but we're working on it. But yeah, with this depot, there were people who were like just holding on to it and not willing to share it. And like, no, this is my content. If you notice, I have not been reading those. I go on to Georgie and Coop's channel to read it. If anyone else wanted me to come on their channel and read it with them, I'd be happy to. I am happy to work with pretty much anyone who wants to work with me. And I will happily promote their channels too, even if they're bigger than me. I don't do this. This channel is not called The Skipper. It's called Veteran Nation. Because part of that was they didn't want me. They wanted the show to be named for me for a while. Like it was going to be like we came up with something with The Skipper early on. And I was like, I just don't want it to be named after me. And if there's a day where there ends up being more people doing Veteran Nation and I take a background role, that's fine by me. In fact, the co-owner of this show, that's what he does. He's owned multiple networks. He has done shows on his networks. He prefers more the background role. Looks like Jeremy will be getting 2 more houses. Here's the thing. This will be, unlike the other lawsuits, this one will not be protracted. It'll be, I just had a big old bird. I wonder if it was a falcon come by. At some point, the buzzards are supposed to be coming through here. So, and that could be any day now. We get the turkey vultures. They come through here as they migrate. It's really cool, but they're only here for like 2-3 days. They're just passing through to get water. They normally go over. There's a golf course behind me. They normally go over there. But yeah, they. Sorry, I got people sending me stuff. They. Mama Coop only needs 9 more to hit 500. Can we? Do you guys have any alts? Anything so we can get Mama Coop to 500? Can we post the link in there? I'm trying to think. Whenever you have a new Google, if you open a Google email, the way Google works, it automatically opens you a new account for YouTube because Google owns YouTube. Tim is hoping to get his channel up this week. Is going to try last week, but I was sick. Don't worry about it. Just know it'll take a while to build your audience. And that's actually a good thing because you'll learn what people respond to and what they don't. Okay. So Tim Fox put the link in there. Thank you. So did Paul. Thank you. So already she's at 493. So we got a couple of you. Can we get her to 500 live? Can we do that? Yeah, if you have an alt, I'm trying to see because I do have I don't really post I do have several Gmail accounts and I don't really post on YouTube with them. I'm trying to see like they should have they should have a YouTube account. I'm trying to log in. We're at 497. Mama Coop, I think we're going to get you there. Oh, that's Mr. Coops. So this one here is Mama Coop. Let's see. So when you search for it, go to filters and put in channel. If you're not using the link that they're posting, using the link will get you there faster. I don't have my control room open. Let me get in there. I did have my studio open. I just didn't have the control room. Let's see here. And I have noticed the Uncle Frank. Mama Coop, you're at 504. All right, we were able to do it live on air. Awesome. So now she's going to be partially monetized. John Naylor's almost boomer. He's up to 37 subscribers. Let's get him more people. I am subscribed to him. I did want to look at Uncle Frank's and put that up. Yeah, we get sidetracked. I do want to show this is the store for Uncle Frank's kids. But yeah, with Jeremy, I use Restream because I have a paid Restream account and it's cheaper than StreamYard. Like I could. Restream does have a payment where I could go up to the same price as what StreamYard would be. I may do that. I don't know. I am gonna buy one of these coffee mugs from Uncle Frank's today. I am gonna do that. But Chunkers is almost at 800. Who's Chunkers or Chuckers? But yeah, I do want I do want one of these Uncle Frank's Kids coffee mugs. So I'm going to get one. I'm going to get the big one too. As I learned with Georgie's, I'm just going to pay the extra $2. Yeah, BBB is quiet because now he has a lawsuit. That's why he's being quiet. He's not talking the way he was. He's not as cocky as what he was. Yeah, he got himself a lawsuit. What a dummy. And he should have known. Jeremy was saying it was coming. Tina and Brian, the only reason Jeremy brought this now is because Tina has been working with the Leaches as well. And hey, that was all you, Mama Coop. We just got you a little boost. So I mean, that's nothing. You did all the work with that to get you 9 followers after you got 491 all on your own. That's not us doing much. Yeah, Megan is having trouble. A lot of people are having trouble with StreamYard. I've had problems with Restream, but when we have problems, it's because they're doing an update and are making things better. I'm very happy with Restream. Now, if you talk to Slug, he's like, don't use any of those. Everything can be done in OBS. And he's 100% true. It can all be done in OBS. However, with OBS, and I've used OBS, you have to take the time to build everything. You have to build your own scenes. You got to do all these things. And you can screw it up, first off. And it can also mean a lot of work live. Whereas for me, changing, it's just a click. All this stuff is built. So right at this point right now, it's more worth it to me to pay the money. And I pay $190 a year for Restream for the whole year. $19 a month is, or actually, I think it is $19 a month, so it makes it like $210 a year is what I pay. Not a big deal. Like, for me, worth it. But if you're a smaller channel, use a free account. If you don't want to use a free account, use OBS. OBS is completely free. Or like Rumble Studio, or just you could just stream live in YouTube. And if you have guests, you can use Facebook calls. Like, you can tell people, no, just call on Facebook, and that's how I'll get your stuff and put it up. Everyone wants to use Zoom. Zoom is okay. They limit how much time you can do the call if you're doing it free. And to me, unless if you're a business, I don't see the point in paying for a Zoom thing. Like what Jeremy said. Look, try to bring down all of your expenses. I was in a place where we were getting enough money that we could afford Restream, so it doesn't come out of my pocket. So, okay, that's why I do it. And I've offered several people, don't pay for a Restream account. I get, because when you pay for an account, 2 people can log in and use it simultaneously. And I'm like, why are you paying for it? Use mine, and there you go. But some people, they're like, they don't want. I do get it where they don't want me to have access to their channel, because it really could. If they were to use my account and they were to link all their stuff, I could then go live on their page. And I understand they don't want me to do that, which I would never do that. In fact, AVA's in here. He can confirm that one day I went live. I'm like, dude, it's linked to your channel. Did you do that? And he was like, no, I didn't. I was like, I'm going to undo it unless if you tell me that's what you want. He's like, no, go ahead and undo it. And I undid it. I didn't want to go live on AVA's channel. As soon as I went live and I saw that happen, I was like, oh, I'm stopping this. Are you talking about the leeches here, Seagirl? You won't watch that channel? Is that who you're talking about? But yeah, Tina and Brian. So the leeches kept saying, oh, we have a survey. We have a survey. They don't have a survey. They don't. Lynette talking about survey stakes where they put the flags in. They may have had a survey done, but those flags can be moved. And those flags fall over, they blow away. I've seen that a lot of times with survey stakes. That's why some survey companies, they not only do the flag, but they also paint. And you should, if you're doing a fence or something, you should absolutely, as soon as they do it, put in a pole or something hard that's not going to move. Like, we're going to put in a 4x4. Great. Now you have that marker. But yeah, her complaining about the flags, that's stupid. Like the wind can take flags out. Even those little ones. Animals can take out those flags. But yeah, Tina kept saying, or the leeches kept saying that they had a survey, and then they said Tina and Brian said we could do a survey, but they weren't paying for it. So that shows you there's no survey. If there were a survey, they would be taking that survey to the courts and to the police. They're not, or they'd be giving a copy of it to the leeches. They're not. There's no survey. They were trying to raise money to get a survey done. And that's Jeremy said, yeah, please do, because then you'll be doing the work for me. But what does a survey cost? $500. I got a free one. My county, the way it is here in California, or at least in my county, you get, when you buy a property, you get the survey once completely for free. So I have a survey of my property. I didn't have to pay a dime for it. Came from my county assessor's office. Chuckers is my husband. He's an Air Force veteran. Oh, okay. So he has his own channel. Please send me, Orphan Kitten, please send me offline. Send me the link. I'd love to promote his channel for him. I use OBS. I don't do guest or calls. Yeah, OBS is, and here's the other thing. Most people, they'll tell you that StreamYard and Restream, the benefit is to be able to send it to multiple places. You can still do that with OBS. OBS did change that. There are some dumb people, Native Pride, some really dumb people. Like, they will just eat up what they say, no matter how many times they're proven wrong. Look at the dummy in the hater group earlier this week who said that Jeremy was arrested and in custody. He's not. He's not. Terry Stupid Silver, he was like, yeah, he's going to be arrested. And I was like, I'll make you a bet right now, $20 to the charity of your choice, that this time next month, Jeremy will be a free man. And then he was like, well, I don't mean incarcerated. I'm like, okay, well, let's just say arrested and charged. A month from now, he will not be arrested and charged. There we go. $20 to the, and I would even give the money to their donation thing for John Lynette. But I know that Jeremy is not going to be arrested and charged. 705 years ago in Central Florida. Yeah, they can be very pricey. When my dad had our property surveyed, they put steel rods in the ground. So there should be steel rods in the ground already, only if they're taken out. This is how most places go. There are some very rural areas where they just kind of have the properties mapped out where there aren't steel rods, but they will have to put them in. But most times they're already there. Place like Otter Creek, Florida, yeah, they've been there for probably the last 30 years, at least. I have a metal detector. I can go get this. I can show you where mine are. But I do have a survey, so I don't need that. I won't hump you Wednesday. As a beautiful person you are, you don't have the right equipment that I require, but I love you anyway. Oh, is hump you Wednesday one of the names? Oh, Wednesday. Oh, you're talking about Wednesday. Okay. I had to get caught up there a little bit. Well, yeah, you're already seeing. Jeremy already said he's gonna take him to the contempt of court hearing in Ohio. That is heating up again. Mine were wooden stakes. Really? Normally for the pins, it's like a railroad spike that they put into the ground, and they do put them down in the ground. Um, and then you find them with a metal detector. Is normally what they do, and that's why they do them as metals, because then they can find them with a metal detector. Now, if you ask for your thing to be surveyed and the metal pins are already there, that's where they'll put in stakes or flags. Crazy. You guys are giving me an idea for a video. I might go out and find the pins on my property and maybe like put a painted rock on top of them or something. Just so everyone knows, I can show physically that painted rock is where my survey pins are. I don't anticipate any problems with my neighbors. You never know. But I'll do it for a video. The Ohio judge, see, this is why I had people who are getting very frustrated. Oh, the judge should do this. The judge, in all the different cases, judges move at their own speed. No one, like, you have to understand how powerful a judge is in this country. Like, a judge can go, as you saw in the Karen Reed case, a judge can be completely wrong and do a lot of bad stuff. And it's a very tall order to get a judge even removed from a case. Most times they have to remove themselves. They have a lot of power in that courtroom while that hearing is going on. They're almost an ultimate power. It could be potentially ridiculous, but that's why we have confirmations and stuff for judge, because we give them a lot of power. We give them a lot of power. Okay, I missed the conversation to Wednesday being humped. That's fine. That's fine. Another vet that needs some love. Absolutely. John, make sure you I know you put it once, but I was doing something. Put your link in again. 37 followers. We can do better for you. We can do better for you. The federal judge, there are so many ridiculous things. The judge can do what they want, though, as fast or as slow as they want. That's the whole thing about that. His channel is at Chuckers. Okay. Can someone get a link and we'll put it in there? At Chuckers? Because I don't think Orphan Kitten, we don't have her as a mod. Almost Boomer Craft, there we go. That's John Naylor's. Looks like you're up to 40 subscribers. Congratulations. We'll get you some more. We'll keep pushing you. Can someone put the link to Chuckers in there? But yeah, so that's why this lawsuit, Tina and Brian, they've been working with the leeches, saying a lot of false stuff, not telling the leeches, oh no, they're, or at least not publicly saying, no, the leeches are lying. There is no survey. John could do an OBS tutorial. Absolutely could. There's a lot of things out there for stuff like that. There you go. There's Chuckers. So everyone make sure you go and subscribe to Chuckers as well. I like when we can help people's channels. So he's up to 748 is what I'm saying. Speaking of which, there was one more thing I wanted to look at. We got 3 people watching on Rumble. The Uncle Frank fundraiser, we have now raised $900. All that money is going to Uncle Frank's kids. It is an LLC. It's going in for its nonprofit. They take kids to disabled kids to go fishing. Hey, good morning, Larry. They take disabled kids to go fishing. They are looking to buy a trailer so that they can keep all the equipment in there for the kids. So that'll be great for them. We've gotten $900 of the $1,500 goal. Now, when Uncle Frank passed, I just put $1,500 in there just as a placeholder. That's not necessarily what they need. It's just what, when I started that fundraiser, it was just like, okay, here it is. Yep, Magic Angel 0302. So I'm glad that. What are the Huffs up to? They were at 926. Last I checked. Let's check. Forever Huffs Living. So they're still at 926. So we'll put the link to them in here. So make sure you subscribe. The fact that we're all supporting each other, that we have all these channels supporting each other, I think is just the greatest thing. We have like this community that's come together, and I love it. I really do. That's why I said my goal of doing Veteran Nation was always 5,000 subscribers. That's what I was really going to work to, and we hit that because I knew if I got to 5,000, a couple things happen. One, we would build a community. 2, YouTube definitely is pushing out the videos then. Maybe not all of them, but when you get over 5,000, it's pushing out your videos in front of people that have never seen you before. Yeah, it's Lent. It's Lent. Everybody, go to church, pray to God, make some sacrifices. I got to look up. I don't want to go to my normal church today. I think I'm going to go to a different one. I got to look at what time are their services. That's okay, Magic. They put your link. That's why I'm thankful of the mods here. Like, I do not have my own Discord because I have way too much social media. But Georgie, I am in her Discord, and that's where I think every one of my mods is in Georgie's Discord. And so we're able to talk and work together. John, by getting to know OBS, you're going to be a step ahead of a lot of other people when it comes to producing your show. I will say that. I'm so good at this Restream because I've done OBS. I've done live producing where I had to move stuff around. It can be very frustrating. Trust me, I get it. But you'll have a better understanding than people who start off on StreamYard or Restream. Especially if you're only streaming to one platform, you don't need StreamYard and Restream. You don't need it at all. If you're just starting off, I would say get OBS. It's free. If you're not having a ton of guests, then just use OBS. have people call you through Facebook or through, I'm trying to think, any of these apps where you can do a video call if you can. I can't figure out OBS. OBS, there's a lot of tutorials out there. And if you play around with, just get it and play around with it. And like build a scene. That'll teach you a lot about OBS. There are some technical things and some advanced things, but there are people out there that'll show you how to do like the basic stuff. OBS, you can stream to multiple sources. It just like to set up a scene takes a lot of work and effort. I've been using OBS for my videos, and you guys saw I'd take down the one video because when you record with OBS, you can set things up on channels, and I had one audio on one channel, but I had switched from stereo to mono. And what that did is it took out the one channel, so you guys didn't have my audio, and you guys were like, "You're muted." I actually wasn't muted. The audio just went to a different channel that was not recorded on the audio codec. Now, I know that sounds like really fancy. It's pretty much like, imagine if there was a tape recording. So I was talking, I could hear my audio, the computer had my audio, but it wasn't being taped onto the thing. It was essentially monitor only. So if there were other people in that video, they would have heard me just fine, but the recording wasn't hearing me. So I wasn't muted. That's what the problem was. And it was because I switched from stereo, where stereo will put one audio in this ear, one audio in this ear, so it sounds like you're more in a conversation. And then I switched it to mono, so it dropped it off. You'll see OBS. It is a little bit harder than Restream and StreamYard. It's a little bit harder. Those dumb it down, make it very easy for you, but it also limits you. I always tell people, like, play around with OBS. You'll learn and be like, oh, we can do this in OBS, but then you'll be like, StreamYard and Restream do this, but they don't like it only is going to be in these cookie cutter ways. Whereas OBS, you can do, and I'll tell you, me and Slug loves OBS. The one thing that works really well in OBS is green screen. Hold on, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you guys something. I'll be right back. So that whole bumper right there, I made that all in OBS. Now I use DaVinci Resolve. I use for editing. Trying to do that in DaVinci Resolve, very, very technical, very complicated. OBS makes using a green screen incredibly easy. Yeah, this whole thing with Tina and Brian, this is going to be a very easy court case. And it'll just be, the judge will be like, okay, where are the surveys? Okay, here are the surveys. Where is Mr. Hales saying there are encroachments? And they'll look and then say, okay, here's what Mr. Hales bought. Here's where the survey lines are. We're going to put in a court order. Anything above those survey, they might say you have X amount of time to remove them, but if you don't remove them, they become Mr. Hales. It'll be that cut and dry. So yeah, I don't think that'll be a very long case. And yeah, Karen, we want to know more about your books. I'm telling you guys, I want to promote you guys. I love that you went on to Larry's channel. I really do love that. I think I still haven't gotten anything from TC, so I think my interview with the author will be going out in about a little bit over an hour. So you guys will get a lot of content from me today. But yeah, I'm all about promoting you guys. Orphan Kitty Rescue. Yeah, you should watch her streams of the cats. Like, I've turned them on at work, or when I'm like, if I'm working around the house and she's live, I turn it on my TV, and my cat will sit there and be like, "Oh, there's other cats." There, because I will turn on YouTube and just kind of let things play. I like the background noise. I also like being able to come in, check things out, and leave. And there's been a couple times where it'll go to like videos for cats, and I'll be in the room and be like, "What's that noise?" And here it's Kang growling. I'm hoping to get to it. It's pretty cold this morning. I don't want to do it if it's cold. I'll do it this afternoon. But I bought a screen door for the front of my house. Yeah, see, it's only 49 right now. It'll be 69 later on today. Oh, actually, no, it just updated. It's going to get to the 70s. So I'm going to put a screen door on the house because as it gets into the 70s here, I like being able to open up and get a airflow through the house. And the cat really likes being able to look outside at the birds. That's the other thing. I got to put up the nectar for the hummingbirds. So I'll do that too. I also have a dead tree branch. It's not like a big one, but it hangs over my house. And I'm going to take that out. Not because I'm worried about it falling on the house or anything, but I just don't. We were getting like just little critters that were in the tree that then were getting on the roof and running across the roof. So that's how they were getting up there. So I'm going to cut that tree branch off. Church lot, new encroachment. Um, are What do you mean by that? Here, I'll pull it up on Google Maps. Are you talking about the ark? We have one rescue that will be a good companion pet for another pet. I've considered getting another cat as an outdoor cat, um, and then like putting a kitty door to where it could go into like just a little one, to where it could go underneath the house, because that's where we this house was abandoned for a while. Rats got into it. They didn't do a ton of damage, just did a little bit of damage. But then I moved in. They had gone away because there was nothing left to eat. I moved in, new smells, garbage out in the thing, so they started coming back. But like second day, Kang killed one trying to get in the house, and I've only had two other times where when the weather changes where they try to get back in the house. But one we caught, the other one Kang caught again. So they're not like it's only during these transitional times where they try to get in. But if I have an outdoor cat that can go underneath the house, yeah, they'll just stay away. They won't come back. And see, I don't want the rats here because the rats then bring snakes. And I don't want snakes here. I don't like snakes. So, but I've got a pest control guy, comes out here, treats everything every month. So, let's look at the Google Maps here. All right. No, that's not the old arc. It's this one over here, right? Oh no, that's it. Yeah. So this is the arc. So you're saying there's encroachments over here, or when you say church, are you talking about this property here? So this would be Tina and Brian's. According to Jeremy, pretty much the property line goes right through here, which makes sense. This looks like two lots here. Oh, Kang is definitely a hunter. He is definitely a hunter. He kills everything. He's killed scorpions. He's killed scorpions, snakes, rats, tarantulas, um, moths. Like anything comes in the house, he's ready to hunt. Cats are good for snakes. Yeah, but they are. They are, especially if they can hop down. Now, I did ask because we have a lot of coyotes, and I asked a couple people, "Hey, should I not have an outdoor cat here?" And they told me, first off, don't get a white one, because too easy to see in the sand here. Go with black or tan, and because they'll survive better. And they were like, if you have trees on your property, yeah, the cats will be fine because they can climb up in the trees, and that also does help them hunt. So that's what I was considering getting, an outdoor, essentially a barn cat. Older cat, yeah, I was thinking about an older cat. We do get them out here. We do get stray cats, and then just leaving a place for him to get food and water. So Terry, is this where you're saying the encroachments were? Because actually, the line, if I remember correctly, there's a fence right here. Because it's not far from this what's it? Tina should be a perfect square at the bottom. J Buffalo next to Tina. Yeah, yeah. So he owns all this here, uh, all the way up. I think all the way up to here. Then these here are owned, and then right here is the entrance to the tower road, and this is the line of his property. This was the woman that had all the drug dealers. See, last time I looked at Google Maps, it didn't have John Lynette stuff. Now it updated it. But I guarantee if we do the thing here, it won't show. Yeah, it shows the old cracker house that was there. I have a stray cat that adopted us. Fixed male, great mouser. Yep, yep. I found a turtle, a desert turtle on my property um, last year about this time. They come through here. There's in 29 Palms. There's a place called Oasis Almara, which is initially where everyone would go and be able to get water, like Native Americans and everyone way back when. That was that's where the aquifer comes up. There's a couple other places like where the golf course is. There's the aquifer comes up there too. But that's naturally where all the animals go. So like, and there is a really nice, if anyone's ever coming out here and uh, you want to stay somewhere really nice, the 29 Palms Inn is actually a really nice place. It's also a restaurant. They have great food there. Uh, my parents love it there. Every time they come out, they're like, "We want to come to this place." And it's not too far from my place, but like they have these little bungalows. It's very dark out there, but you will see if you're coming out to Joshua Tree and you want to see wildlife, you will see them there, 100%. Hunter showed up one day, stayed about a week, and then left again. My daughter went looking for him, found him a block away, making himself at home there. That's funny how cats will pick the person when there were some people locally who their cat was impregnated by a stray. They had all these kittens, and I said, "Look, I want one. I want a kitten because I've got my dog. I want the cat to be used to the dog. Getting an older cat, introducing it to a dog could be a bad situation." Yeah. So I went and I played with all the kittens. Kang was the one who jumped up in my lap and fell asleep. And that's how I got Kang. I was like, yep, if he's this comfortable with me, then we're gonna be okay. And he still wants to jump up in my lap, as you guys see. uh but what's funny is he likes my son way better than he likes me. When Thomas is here, he is in his room. They'll be in there gaming together. And now with this current bed, we used to have a bunk bed, and he'd jump up on the bunk bed. I've got pictures where, you know, my son would be in his gaming chair down below, and the cat would be in the bunk bed just sitting there watching him game because he likes also watching him play, or he'd fall asleep. And yeah, they're straight up buddies. Glory is up on the bed. They tore up my bed already. She's up on the bed up near the pillows. She's all curled up amongst the pillows because it's a little bit chilly in here this morning. Yeah, it's 50 degrees outside, so it's a little bit chilly. It'll warm up. You take your cat fishing at the lake? Yeah, post if Karen has links to sell her book, post those links by all means. So Kang enjoys going out. I've got a little carrier for him. And I also have a backpack. The backpack but he likes going out. He does not like the car, which Glory doesn't like the car. Glory's the first dog I've ever had that she'll tolerate it, but she doesn't like it. And Kang doesn't like the car, but he loves his little thing. And I'm trying to find one of those toddler carriers for your kids to pull on my bike. One that's enclosed, because I'll put Kang in there and go for a bike ride, and I think he'd love that. I really do. Like, knowing him, he likes to see everything. Yeah, I think he would love that. And if I get to that, then would they always do a farmer's market? I'll be able to take him down to the farmer's market and go shop at the farmer's market, and he'll just be out there. I've seen other people. I think if I put a basket on the front, he would love to sit in the basket. He does like to fight some things, like dogs and whatnot. So I want it enclosed because I don't want him jumping off trying to fight someone's dog. List of resources for vets. Is this the one that I did? Or is this someone else's? Because I did have one. Yeah, that's mine. Okay. Thank you. I always forget to put that. I got a call last night. I don't know if you guys watched Megan and Tug, but there was I got a call and it said, "You're needed in Megan Tug's stream right now." And they sent me a screenshot where someone was thinking of ending it, is what I'll say. So I jumped in there. I posted my number. They have not gotten to me. I just screwed up my thing here. Why is this? Is that? Sorry, guys. I lost my monitor, my main monitor. And it's not. There we go. Is that it? Did I fix it? Come on. Is that it? The only thing I don't like about this is it moves so slow. There we go. I'm back. Yeah, I need to go through and update that resources for vets. I'm sure a lot of them are fine. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are fine, but yeah, it's good just to go through and update. A couple nonprofits I do know have kind of merged with others or gone bankrupt. That does happen. It's sad when it does, but that's also why I tell people we need to fix the VA rather than have um, have anything else. Um, Other updates to the show, if I can get to it. We now have music. So yeah, I paid for the license so we can play some Conway Twitty. I'm just playing these so I can watch them back on replay to make sure the audio is okay. But yeah, so that'll be my new outros. I got to come up with some type of visual for it. And I'll probably change some of the stuff. Guess who got Yoda a phone? Oh, Yoda got a phone? Oh, that's funny. Am I out of coffee? Yeah, my coffee's gone. I love Conway Twitty. I really do. Conway Twitty and Marty Robbins. I love them both. None of Marty Robbins' stuff is available for licensing. So here, I'll show you guys some stuff. For those of you looking to do stuff on YouTube, so this is YouTube Studio, and if you go down here to create a creator beta music on the left, just underneath customization, you can come in here and there's all these music. So who is someone that you'd like to hear music from live on the show? What 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. So there it is. It is not available to share. Let's see. This one is. So the Seekers. So this one I can play. It's partial monetization. So you can play up to 30 seconds. So I can play. I can play this and I don't have to worry. As long as I play 30 seconds or less. And I don't hear it right now. Do you guys hear it? Oh, I know.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You will hear the whistle blow 100 miles.
So I do like that song. I don't know if I like this version. I haven't heard it before. But like right here, I could buy this license for $10 and then play that as much as I want because I purchased the license. So this is something cool that YouTube is allowing. So that way you can avoid, any type of copyright claim. Now, when it says, so there's different things. If you don't want to purchase, like you can purchase here. If you don't want to purchase, you can do, this one's fully revenue sharing. So I can play these. So the Country Gentleman, you can play it. I'm going to share anybody and make them I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because they need to make money too. So yeah, if they have this little green, it means you can play it, and they're just going to take it out of any ad revenue that I get. And it also goes by how much of the video is played. This yellow one is it's restricted. So track is eligible for revenue sharing if it's up to 30 seconds and it's used in a video longer than 30 minutes. So this one, I could play the whole thing, the Peter, Paul, and Mary version. Could play the whole thing, and they're just going to get a chunk of the ad revenue. So that's. But with this one, like if I wanted this one, I could purchase the license. So that's what I did with Conway Twitty. So I can play. I purchased the license to this. So I can play the whole song. The whole song. It's not going to affect anything of my monetization at all. So this is the rabbit hole I've been going down. What site is this? This is YouTube. This is straight up YouTube. I'm in YouTube Studio. And at the far left, if you have a YouTube channel, at the far left, at the bottom, it'll say YouTube Library or Creator Music. I believe it changes if you get monetized, but it has no difference. So, like if John is not monetized, he can go in there and still grab music that he's not going to get a copyright strike. These are all things I had to learn the hard way through, which I already knew a lot about copyrights. So I knew certain things, like with a lot of them, it's like, hey, your video can't be monetized. Okay, yeah, I don't need the money. I would much rather have the music. Others, it'll say you can take the music out. I'm okay with that. But if you dig your heels in, no, I want this and I want the money, you're going to get a copyright strike. Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA. So yeah, hold on. There is a version of Lee Greenwood that is available for monetization, so I can play it right now. See Riley, she's hanging at my Marty Robbins. That's cool. I saw. What's her name? I can play this whole thing. So I can play that whole thing, and there's no problems at all with monetization because that is open for revenue sharing. What's his name? He was in 1883. 1883 cast. Tim McGraw. I've seen Tim McGraw twice. One time he was opening for Brooks and Dunn, and it was right when his first hit, Indian Outlaw, right when that was moving up the charts. It wasn't number one yet, but it was clear it was going to be. I think I saw something about music, but I just assume it would be cost. Not always. If you go through it, and I'll show the thing again. So if you see this little thing where it's arrows that go both ways and it's green, you can play it. It's all they're going to do is when you get ad revenue, they're going to get some. That's all that's going to happen. This is no monetization. The yellow means you have to go in and look, and you look at it's all based upon the amount of the song. So this track is eligible for revenue sharing if it's up to 30 seconds, or if it's used in a video longer than 3 minutes. Longer use may make your video ineligible for monetization. Please note that the usage terms may change at the music rights holder's discretion. So we can use it today for up to 3 minutes. For 30 seconds in a video that's over 3 minutes. Anything longer, they might say, no, you can't. You have to give up the money. So yeah, with that, but with Marty Robbins, here, I'll show you. nothing is available for Marty Robbins. Look at it. All no monetization at all. So you can't play. The only way I could get away with anything Marty Robbins if I did like with the Huff, like play it and sing it yourself. Then you can do it. Who else? Pink? Okay, let's look up Pink. Pink jacket. And then here you can available to revenue share or license available. Pink Skies by Zach Bryan, Pink Maggot, Deftones. So I'm not seeing anything available by her, but Pink throws a lot of stuff in. So if you have a specific song of hers, we can look by that. But like this Zach Bryan, if I want to pay $5, I then use this license. I've paid for it. We were promised lobsters. Dude, whatever. Maria by Brooks and Dunn. Okay, let's see what is available. BJ Thomas, Maria. I don't know that one, but it's available. Love BJ Thomas. This is My Maria. New country tribute.
From the dead, burn out the sauce creeping inside your head like.
That one's weird. Ooh, Kenny Rogers. Yeah, I do like Kenny Rogers. Let's see if Kenny's got anything. Bed of Roses. Love the Way You Do. If you want to find love, let's take a look. We'll go by. Later, Kat. Thanks for joining us today. We can play Loving Arms. You can play The Gambler live.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns staring out the window at the darkness. The boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I made my life out of reading people's faces."
So this is, some of these people, Black Betty, or AC/DC. Let's look at Black Betty. Ram Jam, not eligible, but this is why you should always click these to see which ones are eligible. Joe Brown, because I've seen where it says one is not eligible, but then the next one it says it is, and it's the same version of the song. So we can play this. That one's a little bit weird. We can play Joe Brown's version. This is more. Yeah. So, and also you asked about AC/DC. Let's see what they have. Some that are absolutely not. Vince Neil.
She got girls, girls all over the world. She got me.
Oh, here we go. Play the track. There you go.
She gave me her mind, and she gave me her body.
So yeah, I've been going down this this rabbit hole. But for those of you who are smaller creators, it's good for you to know this because you could really make a lot of your stuff better and not have to worry about, like, I'm sure it'll say, hey, we identified copyrighted music in your video, but we're not taking any action because there's already revenue sharing. So that's fine. The YouTube will figure out how much revenue it wants to take and then do that. I need more cowbell. The yellow rev sharing icon means it's only allowed for 30 seconds. Yeah, yep. Only allowed for 30 seconds. This track is eligible for revenue sharing if it's up to 30 seconds of it is used in a video longer than 3 minutes. Longer use may make your video ineligible for monetization. Please note the usage terms. So yeah, you can use it for 30 seconds. Your video has to be longer than 3 minutes. Which that's great if you're looking for something like this for an intro. Because really you don't want, most times you don't want an intro longer than 30 seconds to a video. For a live, I'll do, like I do the thing and I have the Morning in America. I've got that song. That's of my own creation, so I have the license for it. That one I'll play because that one I'm doing other stuff. But you guys know I do I've got the short intro for Veteran Nation. I got the long intro. So if you want to make an intro, if you grab a song and it's less than 30 seconds, you can use that song. You absolutely can. Yeah, the green ones means you can use them. So here we go. Highway to Hell ringtone. Let's see what this sounds like. So that's a 30-second long clip. It's not exactly, but it's a ringtone. But you can play the whole thing. So if you want that as your intro, there you go. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these. I was looking up Les Paul, Mary Ford. There wasn't a lot, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there were all these others. Yeah, here's a Les Paul song. Oh, that's Les Ford. I thought Les Paul is who I was looking for. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Les Paul songs. Dog, calm down. But yeah, I've been going down the rabbit hole on this. You gotta head out. Okay, no worries. There are two. Okay, so if they're facing the church property, that is illegal. If it's facing, like if they have a fence and it's centered on their fence, that is legal. That's perfectly legal. But if it's not looking at it, like if it's looking, their fence could be in the shot, but let's say it's like this. You can see the fence. My hand is the fence, and then you're looking at the rest of it. It's got to be centered. Like it has to be showing the condition of your own property. If you're doing it to look over the fence, no, that's not really allowed. You can absolutely use it to protect your own property, but now this is in general. According to the deputy, the Florida laws are a little bit different. Like you can't be trying to invade someone's privacy where they have like a washroom or something like that. So, but I can tell you, across the United States, if you put a camera up to look into your neighbor's property and clearly not looking, directly at your property, that's by and large illegal, um, and can be construed as harassment. But if it's centered on your property, no court is ever going to say that was to look into the other neighbors. Like that's just ancillary. Oh, I did see that you texted me, Erica. I'll take a look at it. Hey, Vice, how you doing? I love that your dad, uh, that you got the silver play button. I watched that unboxing video the other day. That was great. Uh, we need to Vice. We need to uh, do some simul stuff if you're up for it. Do some collabs. Um, yeah, because I'm up to doing some of this stuff, and like some of these things I was talking about the music, you might be interested in. But yeah, a lot of people they just do stuff on YouTube and make assumptions. Um, I knew a lot about copyright law because I way before I started this channel, I was writing stuff and I wanted to make sure I retained my copyright to various things. I'll tell you a great case study on copyright is Walt Disney. Walt Disney, when he was younger, people took advantage of him, and he spent the rest of his life chasing down copyrights to his creations. And some of them he didn't get during his lifetime, but his family eventually got. Um, okay, yeah, works for me, man. I'd love to do something with you. Um, but yeah, so I studying studying Walt Disney, you learn, oh yeah, and that's why he wanted every copyright he could get after he became successful. Because he had gotten screwed over and was tired of it and he wanted to make money. So I learned a lot reading about Walt Disney back when I was just a journalist. So when I did journalist things, I made sure that I retained copyright. Like I'll let people use my stuff, but like that's why I never got paid as a journalist. Is one, I didn't need the money, and it was like no, I want my stuff out there, but I want to retain the copyright. And someone if if someone hasn't paid me, it's very hard for them to claim ownership of that copyright because it's an intellectual property. I can allow people to repost my stuff, but without me getting paid, it's hard for them to say, "Well, I've got the copy." No, you've got a license to use it. You don't have the copyright to it, which is very, very important. Um, I'm sorry, Miss Yoda. Sorry, it's because you texted me. I've got you saved in my phone. Yep, everyone go subscribe to Device's channel. Really, dog, you're gonna come up here and burp almost in my face. That is so gross. So gross. What? What do you want? You want up? She's like, yeah, I want up. Are you gonna come up here and burp in front of everyone now? That's not very ladylike. You're supposed to be a princess. You're supposed to be a lady. She's been so cold because we had a cold front come in. So yeah, normally she sleeps under the bed. Here lately she's been on top of the bed, cuddled all up either cuddled up next to me or in between the pillows. Yeah. Cold girl. Well, man, I've been going for 2.5 hours. I think that's enough streaming today. I do have my video that's going to go out in about a half hour. Veteran Nation. I've got a great interview with an author. We talk a lot about PTSD, so make sure you guys check it out. Um, I'm trying to get her onto other veteran shows. I know she's been on one already that I recommended her for. We recorded the interview earlier this week. but very interesting. I can't. I've been reading a little bit of the book, but I'm actually going to buy my own copy. So, so thank you guys. I appreciate you guys all being here. I think we've done enough live streaming. I hope you guys have learned something. It was good talking about a lot of the stuff that we talked about today. Feel free to reach out to me if you need me for anything. I will be around. Yeah. Are we gonna make breakfast or lunch? It's still kind of breakfast time. Maybe we'll do brunch today. So thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, on just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, on just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.